Welcome to Transformative Truths, quotes for learning, growing, and becoming. I'm Sarah Waldron Brenton.
I'm Wally Goddard.
What a joy to be back. We are excited to share this quote with you today. It's actually from Neal A. Maxwell.
Love that guy.
He had a good way with words, didn't he?
He did.
A gift that was so impressive. And here's something he had to share with us. He said, "When the real history of mankind is fully disclosed, will it feature the echoes of gunfire or the shaping sound of lullabies, the great armistices made by military men, or the peacemaking of women in homes and neighborhoods? Will what happened in cradles and kitchens prove to be more controlling than what happened in Congresses?"
Oh, boy. I say yes.
I think he might have said yes, too.
I think so.
I think so. And that's very validating for someone like me
Yeah.
in this time of life. You know, people say, "What have you done all day?"
And history books are so often about these, mass slaughters and big wars. And yet life is so much about having someone who pays attention, who loves you, who has open arms for you, who greets you lovingly and kindly. So, yes, the real history of mankind is likely to feature those lullabies and the peacemaking and the goodness that comes from moms and hopefully from dads.
Oh, yeah, we need dads. Our family would not be in a really good place without Tom. I can tell you that.
You are a team. You're great.
We're a dynamic duo. Can I share with you a lesson that I've learned from being an artist
Oh, yeah.
that feels relevant? So in contemporary art, which is my area of expertise, there is a trend that has been going on for the last couple of decades where let's make the most shocking thing that we can. And that'll grab people's attention because people go in a museum and they've done studies on this, about 3 to 5 seconds looking at a painting, right? And so some artists will think, okay, how can I trap somebody?
Yeah.
How can I get them to really engage with this piece? And we were quite critical of that in my university coursework because even though these pieces that have all of this wow and this oomph and whatever, it didn't have the same effect on me as something contemplative and soft and something that required stillness from me.
Speaks to your soul.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think in our very fast-paced, very screen-centric world, people are really looking for immediacy in their satisfaction. We see this in movies. Why is it that all these blockbuster movies are guys shooting other guys or whatever?
Yeah. Hey, spaceships and all kinds of, loud and wild, crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. If we want to feel good after a film, you can't really beat something just quiet. And I guess I maybe don't know how to express what I'm fully saying, but I have had more profound moments singing a lullaby to my babies than showing up at town hall and trying to do something political. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wonder how we can maybe even bring some of that softness, some of that tenderness and goodness to the greater community.
Yeah, it's a fundamental shift in the way we think. It requires us to not just look for what's big and important as the wow factor, but to look for what's good and sweet and maybe what even has eternal significance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the way the Lord talks about it is that which doth not edify is not of God. In other words, edification, that's what we should be looking for. Or another way of saying it is look for the light, look for goodness, look for gentle kindness, look for the things that are sweet and eternal.
Mm-hmm. I think of President Nelson, who taught us peacemakers wanted, right? And I love this idea that Neal A. Maxwell shares, the peacemaking of women in homes and in neighborhoods.
Oh, yeah.
I've never really thought about myself as that's my job, being a peacemaker in my home and my neighborhood. But I spent actually quite a lot of my day making peace, just helping the children talk things out.
Yes, a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that I do that for people in my neighborhood as well. It seems to me that this principle that we've talked about before, where we are caught up in serving and loving others instead of in our own self-interests, that usually yields a pretty good result. And these other examples, echoes of gunfire, armistices, these sorts of things all kind of generate from a self space. can we get something good for ourselves?
As we look at the international landscape, the things that demand our attention are the battles, the conflicts, the misunderstandings, and it really takes up a lot of the oxygen in the room, doesn't it? Whereas maybe what will be ultimately most shaping for all of us will be the people who notice, who care, who listen, who invest in relationships. Maybe that ultimately will be far more determinative than all the dramatic scenes on the national and international stages.
I think what Elder Maxwell is telling us is there might not be a headline that says, there might not be a headline tomorrow that says, tired mom makes another meal, or exhausted father plays on the trampoline for an hour after a stressful meeting.
Or Sarah introduces Davy to tomato soup.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was revolutionary for him, wasn't it?
It was. This was an important, a red letter day.
It was, and a rad shirt day.
Yes.
Tomato soup can get all sorts of places if you're not careful. And what if we approached each day like Davy approaching his tomato soup? Pretend you're 5 months old and you've just tasted some tomato soup. And you're like, whoa.
Life is going to be good.
Life is great. Yeah. And I just think that this quote really gives me a cause to reflect and think about what's the most important thing, and to maybe shift my focus and energy to those things when I feel troubled by the greater things going on, because there is so much unrest and so many disagreements. And boy, if you just want to spend your whole day doom scrolling, you could do it.
Oh, yeah. I know Nancy sometimes reports that it's hard for her to sleep because she's worried about all the things she's heard around her, the noise of the news telling us that everything's falling apart. And I think that probably we need to turn down the volume on that and give it far less place in our minds and our hearts, and turn our attention to sweet moments, tender moments, positive moments, whether it's Davy and tomato soup or whether it's Bonnie with grapes. Bonnie knows what to do with a grape.
She does. We can joyfully do what is in our power. And what's in my power is negotiating what kind of ice cream we're getting out of the freezer or whatever. And sometimes we do have a moment where, hey, let's call our congressman and tell him that XYZ. Why not?
Sure.
But then you got to hang up the phone and go check on your neighbor.
Yes. And go to the real steady and foundational work of building humans who are our lifelong churches.
Yeah. And our families, our communities are the building blocks of society. And if we can be a force for good in our sphere of influence, I really believe that that has a ripple effect that lasts generations.
Yes. So the assignment's clear. Be looking for chances to create peace and connection and understanding in our little circle of influence, huh?
I think so. If you are a young mother like me and you have someone ask you, hey, what'd you do today? And you feel compelled to say, oh, not much. Maybe remember the moment that you sang a lullaby or helped choose an outfit or wiped the counter, because we need those people.
It may be more important than what happens at Camp David is what happens with little David when you introduce him to soup and sing him a lullaby.
That's right. We hope you have a wonderful week full of peace and joy.
We look forward to next time.
See ya.
We hope that some of the quotes we share are meaningful to you and something maybe you'd like to add to your personal collection. If so, go to drwally.com and look under Transformative Truths podcast, and all the quotes as we broadcast them will be available to you to cut and paste into your collection.